Not only a destroyed environment and damaged landscape, but also an imbalanced energy market. All these are the results of massive construction of wind farms all over Europe, and especially in Great Britain. Welsh people are very discontent and afraid of more wind farms being built next to their homes. Welshpool hosted a meeting to address this issue with the support of two Conservative MPs, Glyn Davies and Heaton-Harris, and also a Conservative MEP, Struan Stevenson.
The cost of the 5,000 installed turbines across the whole of the UK that are tonight producing 1% of our electricity requirements is already over £7 billion. £7 billion could provide you with a new state-of-the-art third-generation nuclear power plant running at 80 to 90% efficiency. Contrast that with these 5,000 expensive turbines working at 15 to 20% efficiency for only 15 to 20 years. When there is no wind, they produce no power at all. When there is too much wind, which we often get in Britain, they have to shut them down or they break. And now, because of EU CO2 emission targets, we've closed 5 of our coal-fired power stations in Britain this year already. And now we're having to import more and more very expensive gas. And then we wonder why all of our electricity and gas bills are going through the roof. Businesses are closing down, jobs are going abroad to escape these escalating fuel bills. It is a useless technology, and the whole energy policy in the United Kingdom, and particularly in Scotland, is a complete mistake.
People in Wales are afraid of worsening living conditions and a decline of tourism in the area where thousands of Brits come to relax and enjoy their holidays every year.
Pylons, the overhead lines, the access roads, the fact that the small rural roads in this beautiful area will be blocked by some of these massive vehicles carrying in the giant 150-metre high turbines. People at the meeting in Wales were saying that putting this amount of concrete into a floodplain is going to cause incredible flooding and damage to properties for which they will receive no insurance, no compensation.
Why am I against wind farms? Because they're not scientifically proven to save the environment more than they actually damage the environment in making them and everything.
It's going to totally destroy all our countryside, and that's why we're against them.
It's not just the pylons and everything, it's the fact that here it's a flood valley. Then they're going to take all the peat out of the ground, which in fact holds the water back. So that's obviously going to have a devastating effect.
Why ruin the countryside? Why ensure that you have to put pylons down 100 miles of the most beautiful valleys in Wales in order to do absolutely nothing? It's just for money.
We're paying in the region of £80 an extra a year now. By the year 2020 it'll be £200 extra, and that's a lot of money on poorer people. And it's only going to subsidise the big energy companies that are making a fortune.
I'm against it because I love this area, it's where I live. I don't think wind farms produce the energy they say they do. I don't think they're cost effective.
They're not very green, they're not good for the environment, they look bloody awful, and there's a whole lot of reasons to be against them.
Everybody knows now it doesn't work. I mean, as today, the energy consumption in the UK at this precise moment is about 40 gigawatts. Wind is producing 0.7. How can you run a country on an energy need when the wind doesn't blow and you're just helpless?
British Conservatives dislike the fact that all power plants are owned by foreign companies and therefore do not help the growth of British economy. Revenue from these power plants then goes unnecessarily abroad.
This is the crazy situation in the UK. We've managed to give all our energy companies away, and they're controlled by companies in France, Germany, Spain and Denmark. So we have only one UK-owned company.
It's a mistake that's been driven by the whole climate change debate because the Greens have jumped on the bandwagon. I am not a climate change denier and never will be. Cutting CO2 emissions is absolutely essential. But do we really believe that if we cover the United Kingdom for from top to bottom with huge whirling windmills that we are going to make the slightest difference to global CO2 emissions. It's just nonsense. Well, I suggest that we tear up the current energy policy. We say it's been a big mistake, we're trashing our landscape for no good purpose, we're costing the economy of Britain at a time of economic austerity an absolute fortune that we just can't afford. We need to look again at a new energy policy. Everybody is jumping on the bandwagon of the renewable energy wind factory Klondike, and money is being wasted, and future generations will shake their head in wonder and say this was the biggest folly of a generation.